healthy eating is feeling overwhelming, it's possibly because you're doing one of these three things, or probably all of them. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about why healthy eating is feeling overwhelming and what to do instead to make it easier so that way you're able to stay consistent and actually enjoy the process. One thing that you're possibly doing where healthy eating is feeling overwhelming is that you are focusing 80% of your energy on being the new version of you rather than just the 1%. And although it may not seem like a lot and sound like a lot and feel like you're not making any progress by just doing one micro change, that one micro change compounds so much easier. And the reason why it works best of just focusing on going a little bit ahead rather than all the way over here is because when you're going all the way over here, you're not seeing why you're no longer here. So then you're constantly bouncing between the two, because even though you want to be here, you're still operating from here most of the time because that's the habits that you have. Instead, when you're just focusing on like one little micro change forward, then it causes less friction on your brain and on your body, because then it's like, okay, this seems familiar, we're just changing a little bit rather than trying to change so much at once and it becoming overwhelming for you. Even though it may not seem like a lot, one thing that I realized is like if I'm trying to work on one thing, that one thing will compound and help out another thing, and the next thing you know, I'm now naturally progressing to the identity that I want to be, because now I'm aligned with the person I'm trying to be, rather than trying to force myself into a new identity and not really seeing if that's something that I want to do, if that's something that aligns with me, if that's something that works with my lifestyle. When I make certain micro changes, then I'm able to see like how it fits with my lifestyle and then make adjustments from there. So one thing of just doing is taking a look of what you actually want to improve. Maybe it's you want to reduce your sugar intake and not necessarily cut sugar off completely. One thing that I just realized for myself is I'm not trying to completely remove sugar. I'm just trying to be more intentional about the things that I'm consuming, so therefore I'm not over consuming the sugar. You don't have to focus on jumping forward and making a complete 180 shift in your lifestyle, because then it will feel overwhelming. One thing of just doing that works so much better and helps you stay so much more consistent and aligned is by just focusing on a 1% improvement rather than an 80% improvement. The next one is you're following influencers and you live a 9 to 5. I don't really follow a lot of influencers, but I do enjoy sometimes like the visual aesthetics of like the food and the meals and like how calming it feels sometimes. But one thing that I learned is that you have to take what works and remove the 90% that doesn't. When you are following someone who's an influencer but yet you live a 9 to 5, their lifestyle is completely different from yours. So they have the time to make this beautiful breakfast that takes 50 minutes to make and chop up things and weigh their food and just make beautiful plates of food. They have that time allotted to do that. But it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily follow that too. When you're following influencers, you have to be mindful that their time that they have available is completely different from yours. And instead of looking at that content as something that you should be doing, instead just look at it as inspiration of if that's something that you would want to create for yourself. So I tend to just look more at recipes rather than influencers when it comes to eating healthy, just because I know that the meals that they're creating, if I think about how much time that would probably take me to make, I don't have that if I have to log on at 9 o'clock. And when I take my break to make my breakfast, I have enough time to make eggs and then heat up some sweet potatoes that I made the night before, or heat up some broccoli that I made the night before, and then that is my breakfast. One thing is just being intentional about the people that you are following when it comes to recipes, because when you are following influencers but yet you live a 9 to 5, it will probably make you feel like you're not living up to the expectation of what health looks like, when really their lifestyle is just completely different from yours. So instead of looking at that and feeling like you need to do that, one thing is just taking a step back and then realizing what you have capacity for, and then find videos that align with that rather than trying to live up to an expectation of what works for someone else but may not work for you. And the last one is you are doing things you hate. When you are making healthy eating something that you are trying to stay consistent with, it has to actually be something that you enjoy. And I say this to my past version of me, but I am also saying it to you. There was moments where I was doing calorie counting, and there was moments where I was plant-based at one time, and although I did enjoy being plant-based, I realized that I also enjoyed missing a lot of certain foods, but felt like I couldn't eat it because it wasn't a part of the plant-based curriculum of what I should be eating. And then I tried to take it a step further and go whole food plant-based, where I wasn't using any oils, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I need to use my oils. So one thing that I just started doing was just being more intentional about the cooking oils that I use, rather than feeling like I could no longer use any type of cooking oils in order to feel my healthiest self. Feeling your healthiest self, it means doing things that are actually aligned with you. So if you're someone who enjoys bread, eat bread. You're just being more intentional about the bread that you eat, how you eat it, and when you eat it. You don't have to remove bread. If you love pasta, just be intentional about how you eat the pasta and when you eat the pasta. You don't have to completely remove things that you love in order for healthy eating to feel like this thing that you're actually doing. Healthy eating should feel like a lifestyle. It shouldn't feel like a chore. And one thing that I've realized over my journey of doing things that I didn't really enjoy was I was doing it because I thought I had to do it rather than doing it because I enjoyed doing it. But when you learn the things that you like and don't like doing, then it starts to become a much more enjoyable process, because you know why you're doing something and you know why you're not doing something. I've learned that I do not want to weigh my food. I feel like it is a chore I really don't feel like doing. Like, it's not something I really care to do. Like, if I'm trying to be a bodybuilder and aiming for my six-pack and trying to do all these things, then fine. Like, I feel like that would be where I would take that step. But if I'm just trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle that's manageable and that's enjoyable and a way to maintain my weight, I know that I don't need to do all of that. I just need to be intentional about the things that I'm already doing, eating, and having in my lifestyle. It's not necessary for me to do all of that just for me to be healthy. So if you're feeling like it's overwhelming, one thing to really ask yourself is, am I doing things that I actually enjoy, or am I doing it because I feel like I need to do it? And if I'm doing it because I feel like I need to do it, why do I feel like I need to do this? Am I trying to optimize my body? Am I just trying to eat healthier? Or am I just trying to do it in a way where I'm maintaining my weight? Because if you don't have your particular why of why you're doing it, then it makes it overwhelming and draining and unenjoyable, because there's no real core reason for you doing it. You're just doing it because someone online is telling you that you should do this in order to get their results. When it comes to healthy eating, it should be in a way where you are able to stay consistent, and it's a lifestyle. And that means when you go to a restaurant, you're confident in what you're eating because you know why you're eating something, you know how it's going to make you feel, and you know that you don't need to restart your diet back on Monday because this is already aligned with how you eat. Healthy eating isn't about just eating salads and tracking calories and tracking macros. It's about making sure that the things that you're eating, you know why you're eating it, you know why you're not eating certain things, and it's not because you are restricting yourself from it, it's because it just doesn't align with who you are. So those are the 3 reasons why healthy eating may be feeling overwhelming. Definitely let me know if any of these stuck out to you and which one you're planning on eliminating, so that way you make it much more of an enjoyable process for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.